Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. And as always, we invite people to come on the show. Whether if they do or don't, that is a different story. There's always next time. But anyways, there's a lot going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. The Blue Jackets have played one game since our last show. They lost to the Capitals 2-1, and it was god-awful. Not a lot going on there in that game. That was very good. There was still some good stuff, and we're going to talk about it. The Blue Jackets have brought back Rick BOWNESS, and I love it! Awesome move, Blue Jackets. We're going to talk about that. Zach Werenski should win the Norris Trophy as best defenseman in hockey, and we're going to talk about that. I'm continuing the theme of Hefty Duck gets to share his thoughts on what different tattoos are and, how does he rate them, and so much more. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Oh yeah, welcome in everybody. Hope everyone has had as good a week as you can. I know it's been kind of tough out here in the Blue Jackets world to keep your head up, at least with hockey stuff. But hey, it's baseball season too. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from YouTube, check us out on Twitter. If you're watching us on Twitter, check us out on YouTube. Our biggest demographic is out there on Twitter. So we know you're out there watching. I kind of forgot to do all my posts on Twitter. I'll do that here in a little bit. But yeah, check me out on Twitter. I'm at Lance_Schrock. You can see my name spelled here. It's SCHROCK for the audio listeners. And I do tattoos. I've done I've done a really cool Blue Jackets tattoo in the past and some other cool art. So check me out at Lance_Schrock Tattoos on Instagram. I think that's what I got for my intro.
Yeah. Okay, as we always do, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as for me, before we get going here, as I always do, got to give... There we go. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets team group that I run. We do marches to cheer on the Blue Jackets that have been featured on TV and Blue Jackets games and so much more. So check out Union Blue Soldiers. So, to start things off, we're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna have two tattoos, and I'm gonna ask Hefty Duck what does he think about them. So, first things first. We're gonna put this up on the screen here. So, here we go. Okay, Hefty Duck, here's the first tattoo.
Shit.
Oh, wait.
That's a little hard to see, but I get the gist of it. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Hey, it's not bad. Pretty good line work. Good use of black in there. No, pretty solid. I'll give that one give it an 8 out of 10. It's not exactly what I would have done, but I like it. I don't know.
So,
I don't mean that in a shitty way.
No.
I just do different style.
So we have it's a combo of two Blue Jackets logos. You take the Cannon logo with the flag logo and you put it together into one logo.
Yeah, not a bad idea. That would actually be, like, pretty legit. It still keeps the C in the Ohio flag, but replacing the star, which doesn't seem very relevant. If anyone's watching live or watching the replay, if you turn around looking, I have a jersey up on my wall, so I'm just looking back for it for reference. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong, I like the stars. There's stars on the flag, so I totally get that. I like how that they made their stars big enough here that they're not just gonna become little blurry balls.
Yeah.
They're actually big enough you can see them. They're pretty solid. Looks like they know what they were doing.
All right. Final tattoo. So here we go. So
Huh. That's interesting.
yeah,
What
he likes the Blue Jay. This person
the
likes the
fuck?
Blue Jay. Well, you know what? This is a very simple, straightforward tattoo. This person
Alright.
likes the Blue Jackets and Star Wars.
Alright. You know, I'm not from a technical standpoint, this is very well done. The color packing is great, line work's pretty solid. Uh, the color work is very good. They did good with the, blends there on the mask. Um, and, yeah, I'm not judging that bad by any means. It's more or less um like, I feel like this should have been 2 separate tattoos, but that's just me. I would love to hear the story behind it, 'cause there
Yeah,
has to be some sort of story behind it, and it
yeah,
looks like they might be adding more. So this could just be all one, like, part of, like, one big sleeve in the future, so it might make more sense, like, having, like, things mingling and mixing throughout. Like, that almost has to be what it is, 'cause the legs are missing on the guy,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, interesting.
Because you have you got the Union soldier with the hockey stick, and then you got the Star Wars, and then you got the cannon.
Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting concept. Uh I don't wanna rate any of these tattoos 'cause I don't know if I'm gonna know the person who did it or not. I don't wanna be mean to him. I'm not even gonna be mean about this one, that's not what I'm saying. I just don't wanna,
Yeah.
you know. But I will say it's very well done. Very well
Yes.
done.
Yes. All right then. So there. Okay. Now on to the next thing. The next thing that we'll be talking about is that Jay Fresh, who is a analytics guy on Twitter, and he's done some good stuff that I like. It's very informative. But in this particular instance, he is very, very, very wrong. Which recently on his Twitter page, he said that the canon is not good. And for that, I say, hello there, Jay Fresh. You are wrong! Absolutely wrong. Are you kidding me? Come on now. The canon is awesome. People love the canon. The canon is one of the reasons why the Blue Jackets stand out in a good way. There is a line, a long line, to get your picture taken with the canon before every Blue Jackets game. Every time it happens. Matter of fact, the last time I was at a Blue Jackets game, the line for the cannon was even longer than what it normally was. Because people like the cannon. You go to a Blue Jackets game and people want to take their picture with the cannon. I do that every time. I've probably taken, like 50 different pictures with the cannon. But I do it anyways because it's cool. Also, the cannon fits perfectly with the Blue Jackets Civil War theme. You know, you're named after the Union soldiers that wore blue jackets and fought to free the slaves during the Civil War. Not only did they use guns, but they also used cannons. So perfect. A perfect way to use that Civil War theme. And then look at what are the most popular Blue Jackets jerseys. The Cannon jerseys, whether that be the third jersey, Cannon jersey, or most recently, the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey that was seen at Ohio State that had a really, really ridiculously cool cannon on it. And go to a Blue Jackets game. Guess what you're going to see? A good chunk of the people in the crowd at the game are going to have cannon jerseys on, whether that be the third jersey cannon or the outdoor game cannon jersey. People love the cannon, and some of the Blue Jackets' favorite logos are cannon, whether that be the cannon shoulder patch seen on the home and away jerseys or cannon seen on the third jersey. People love the cannon. It is so good that even if you don't like the Blue Jackets, people say nice things about the cannon. The cannon's cool. Oh, I like the cannon. Or a common thing among people, even who don't like the Blue Jackets, like, I wish the Blue Jackets would use the cannon logo as their main logo. I wish that they would use, either the third jersey cannon logo as the main jersey, or most recently, within the last year or so, the most common thing that you hear from not just Blue Jackets fans is, even people who don't like the Blue Jackets, is, I really like that outdoor game jersey. I wish the Blue Jackets would use that as their main home jersey. Something like that. It's just that good. And when you watch YouTube videos of different hockey jersey collectors, again, what do they say when they're ranking the jerseys for the Blue Jackets? The most common thing they say is they really like the cannon jerseys. The most prominent hockey jersey collector out there, the hockey guy who has millions of views on his videos and like ridiculously high amount of subscribers on YouTube, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. You know what he says about the Blue Jackets in terms of like jerseys? He says that he likes the cannon jerseys the most, and he says that he wishes that the Blue Jackets would use the cannon logo / cannon jerseys as their main jersey. And most recently, not that long ago, just over a year ago, when both Detroit and the Blue Jackets had their jerseys for the outdoor game at Ohio State, and the hockey guy did a video reviewing both jerseys, Detroit and the Blue Jackets. He started off with the Blue Jackets first. And when you watch that video, he could not stop saying nice things about the Blue Jackets jersey. He loved it that much. He loved the big cannon logo, and he loved the shoulder patch, and he liked how it said Columbus Blue Jackets on the collar on the inside of the jersey, and he liked the sparkly silver chevrons. But most importantly, he loved the ridiculously big cannon logo. He did. So, and then the cannon is a very unique tradition that the Blue Jackets have. No one else in hockey or sports in general is shooting off a cannon when they score, but the Blue Jackets do. People love the cannon. It is classic. It is iconic. It helps bring so much positive energy and attention to the Blue Jackets. The cannon is that popular. People love the cannon. And so for Jay Fresh to say that the cannon is not good is very wrong. Wrong, I say. So this time I say bad tweet, bad take. Sit this one out, and for just this one time, stick to your analytics, because That's not a good tweet there. Saying the canon is not good is very wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking for something real quick. There was a little more to the tweet than.
Wow, I know he's also ripping on the branding and stuff like that, but I'm focusing in on the ripping on the
No, I
can.
know. I just want to give some context to it all because there's a couple of things here to play a little devil's advocate that I I don't disagree with the whole statement. I think he's very wrong about the canon. It's well, um, let me share this real quick. Okay, so this was a couple days ago. Jacket's got a totally rebrand, start over. Canon's not good enough. It's a neat illustration, but not a strong logo. Team's been basically irrelevant for 25 years, and the boring uniforms don't help. Harsh words. It sucks to. I don't think that's entirely wrong. I don't think the uniforms are nice. I do think we always talk about like the third jersey, and
Yes.
then here's where he's talking a little bit more shit here. You got stupid bug based on a convoluted pun. String of ribbon around a hockey stick. He's talking about the old CBJ logo. Looks like a ribbon thing. Competent enough but boring flag around a star. Realistic drawing of a cannon that looks like an IPA label from 2012. Accurate. Ugly? No. That tattoo from earlier was actually, I feel like that was kind of on to something. Replacing the star with the cannon, possibly.
Yeah.
It's a rebrand, but it's working within. It's like, when a team's looking for a new coach and they hire from within, that's what it feels like. Is like the logo is sitting there. It's just, can we combine the two for something new and just a little more solid, like really rally around the canon idea. It'd be kind of cool. You know what I think would be really cool? Just a cannonball this big, just a, a black cannonball, just a black circle patch, new logo. Anyway, so just I guess bringing that up too. Some other people saying Union Blue saying here that they're a big fan of the stadium jerseys.
Yep. That's a lot of people.
Here's where Jay Fresh is saying that they don't like the Canon isn't as a good primary logo. It's not their
Wrong.
thing.
You're wrong. You're wrong. I just and I have to throw this in there. Like, I know the Blue Jackets for most of their existence haven't been very good. There's been some good, some bad. But you know what, Jay Fresh? I know you like Pittsburgh, but you can't be you yourself can't be talking about irrelevant, because you know why? Pittsburgh twice in their existence has been so bad to the point that they almost got moved twice. You can never say that about the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets have never been that bad to the point to where they almost got moved twice. You can't say that. And another thing you can't say about the Blue Jackets is that the Blue Jackets have never been bankrupt. But you can say that about Pittsburgh. They went bankrupt. So be careful what you're doing with the whole irrelevant thing. They say, oh, if you're living in a glass house, don't be careful what you say, because someone could throw a rock at it and then break it, because that's where you are. Be careful what you're doing with, irrelevant, because I can look at you, Pittsburgh, and I could say the same exact thing, that you were so bad to the point that you almost got moved twice. You were so bad to the point that you went bankrupt. That's never happened with the Blue Jackets. Never. So settle down.
One other thing I want to talk about with that, though, is him ripping on Stinger a little bit. And I am one of the first people to admit that it's weird. Now, you know that me and Kevin talk about mascots quite a bit in the show. I like mascots a lot. I think they're goofy. It has nothing to do with how the players are playing or anything. They're hilarious to me. I love that it's nonsensical. I love Slider from the Guardians.
Right.
Love it. He's nothing. What is even that? He's not, when they were called the Indians, it was still Slider. He wasn't relevant to the name Indians. He's not relevant to the name Guardians. He's just a green thing, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
I love the absurdism of it. So that being said, I do like Stinger. Just it's kind of like a weird, like, that was one of the very first questions when I kind of first started watching the Blue Jackets was like, what is that? Why?
Yeah.
And the whole point is it's a yellow jacket mixed with the blue jacket, creating a green bug, right?
Yeah.
Green stinger. I have a couple arguments with that. One, it should just be blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like the lime green. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good with the red, white, and blue, the lime green. It just doesn't, it's not good. These are just, personal opinions I'm throwing out here. But like for real, it's and if you guys see me pointing over my shoulder, I literally have this. Don't get me wrong, I love this stupid little bug, but and I'm not saying that get rid of him totally. It's like to revamp. Just we need to totally revamp the mascot. No, I'm saying maybe add another mascot in there, so that way like how the Cleveland Guardians, I was just talking about them. They got Slider. Well, they also, I know it's like a sponsored thing, but they have the hot dogs too.
Yeah.
Mustard, ketchup, and onion.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
Cavs, we were just talking about this. They have the Cavalier guy, like
Yeah.
with the big head,
The
and then
dog.
they have the dog.
Yeah.
And then
Reds.
the Reds have Mr. and Mrs. Red. They have for years.
Gapper.
So what I'm thinking about is kind of like along the lines of the Cavalier guy, maybe like a Civil War soldier with just like a big head. Oh my God, that's a ridiculous rendering. That's not far off from what I'm talking about, actually.
Yeah.
Because like then people see the cannon, they're like, oh yeah, cool, it's a cannon. But a lot of people don't quite understand why there's a cannon. It doesn't explain that. You see a guy dressed like this, you're like, oh, that guy looks like a Civil War soldier. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is it a Revolutionary War? No, Civil War. And then it explains the whole name all at once.
It does.
Just that's the point. And because don't get me wrong, like I said,
Yeah.
Stinger's endearing at this point. He's been around too long.
Yeah, you can't take him
You
away.
just get rid of him.
No.
Just saying, maybe what's the one for the Cavs? Moondog, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Moondog.
Yeah.
And maybe something like along that lines, or I don't know, Boomer. Maybe bring out Boomer. We know they won't.
He looked like a Wang. They're not going to bring back something that looks like a Wang.
Yeah, the jokes were too easy to make.
But no, the reason why this exists. So Mask Juice, who's one of my Columbus friends, he sent this to me. Not only this one, but also this one.
Oh my God.
Because here's the context. We'll back this up here. Oh, I did not want to do that. So, okay. So originally, we'll go with this because the Blue Jackets' main logo is based off an Ohio Cavalry unit flag used in the Civil War by the Union Army. So that's why it exists. And then
with the star
and everything.
Yeah.
So and then a response was, I don't disagree, but at the same time, a number of people I've spoken to don't understand that's a state flag of Ohio. Does make me wonder if we should be more blunt with our branding and just use the cannon as a primary. And I responded to that. I've always wanted the Blue Jackets to use their Civil War theme more. It would help people understand the Blue Jackets easier. Cannon logo is the main logo with the Union soldier shoulder patch. That is what I would like to see. And of course, just use the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey as the example. And what do you know? This is one of Union Blue Soldiers' logos that I use, where it's a Union soldier with the hockey stick and the state flag of Ohio. And so Mask Juice responded. Richard Saluki on Twitter said, I would fully support this design, and Mass Juice responded to these posts. So I'm just going to assume he did AI using this, but it looks for AI, I think this is, pretty good. So there's that. This one is like really cool.
That's dope.
I really like this one. So, so that's kind of the thinking behind that. But anyway, so
I have another mascot idea. So have you ever been to like a basketball game where they have like the person in like the inflatable basketball suit, like
right.
it's like a round suit walking around? So
Yeah.
what if, because obviously there's pucks, but what if they had a cannonball suit like that?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Because like, I don't know, a mascot just being a cannonball, it just sounds stupid. It's like just like a little, it's a black ball.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing. It's just a circle. It's just a ball. I feel like it would be really it'd be kind of simple. Like just spray paint one of those basketballs black and just say it's a cannonball. Just say that. It's just like that'd be funny because then I just think that would be hilarious because it would be stupid. Like Boomer was pretty stupid, but I love it. I love that about him. It's absurd.
Yeah. But,
So it's just the ball, just walking around, arms, legs, eyes.
So, okay. So, and then one last thing, and then we'll get into the other stuff. So, continuing on. So, Mask Juice also sent me this, which is, again, I'm just going to assume that he did. I don't know if he did it or not, but I'm just going to assume that he did AI and sent me this, basically like a new logo for Union Blue Soldiers, and it's
like a pin, like an enamel pin.
Yes, because I'm gonna say it looks pretty cool because it's like Union soldier, hockey stick, Ohio flag in the background, and there's a cannon. Slightly modification on two Blue Jackets things, so CBJ fifth line, and then there's stars on it. Union Blue Soldiers, Union soldier. The kepi has CBJ on it. The belt buckle has CBJ on it. So for what it is, I think it's pretty cool, So
pretty neat.
All right. So anything else to say about this?
Nope.
Okay. Now, the Blue Jackets played one last game, and that's what we're going to talk about next. The Blue Jackets played the Capitals. They lost 2-1. And oh God, it was god awful. It was a 2 out of 10 for me. First period, 9 out of 10. The Blue Jackets played a real good period. You did everything right but score a goal. You had good shifts on the offensive zone, really kind of dominated the Capitals. Capitals only had 4 shots on goal, and you really didn't give them anything to shoot at. Blue Jackets had some good shifts in the offensive zone. They couldn't score, but they did just about everything right in that period but score a goal. So 9 out of 10. Second period starts out good because you get a big goal from Boone Jenner. And it happens because you make a good play in the defensive zone, you get it out, and then a couple good passing plays to get it into the offensive zone. Eventually, the puck goes to Boone Jenner. Boone Jenner shoots and scores. Awesome shot. Awesome goal. Blue Jackets have some other chances in that period. They can't get it, and then they get scored on because what are we doing here? Just a bad line change. Like, what are we doing here? The Capitals have the puck in their defensive zone, and you go off, And the capless has the puck, and he just gets it up the ice. Like, wait to make the full line change before you get off the ice, because you hung Jack Greaves out to dry, basically, because there was no one, because you did bad timing on the line change. No one is there to back it up, and then Jack Greaves is basically kind of hung out to dry, and they give up a goal. And it's just like, what was that? So, that second period was okay. And then I don't know what happened in the third period. They had some chances where they looked good, but it was kind of blah. And then again, they give up a goal on the power play. And Jack Greaves, unfortunately, the one thing that is a weakness against him is he's short. And because of that, he's going to give up goals up high. And that's what happened. Jack Greaves gives a goal up high because he's short and he struggles with that. And the fact is there's like 3 guys in front of him, which makes it worse. So he can't really see it. And then he's short and you give up. So can't stop goals up high, difficulty with that. And you put that all together and you give up a goal. And then, the Blue Jackets pulled the goalie and they had some chances to score, but it was mostly terrible. And, honestly, that was just a 2 out of 10. For the most part, there were some good moments there, but for the most part, it was god awful. And it was like, what was that? It was just awful, just bad. Because over the years, even when the Blue Jackets didn't make the playoffs, that last game of the season has, generally speaking, over the years, has been a good game. With the Blue Jackets, they play a good game and they find a way to win that game. Last season was an example of that, where they smoked the Islanders 6-1, played a real good game. This year, I just don't get why. Because generally speaking, over the years, the Blue Jackets, even if they don't make the playoffs, that last game of the year, they play a real good game and they win it. Didn't happen this time, and I just don't get it. And outside of some good moments here and there, it was a god-awful game and needs to be better. 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it was just a kind of a disappointing end to a disappointing season. We're gonna talk about player grades and whatnot, like in over the next few weeks. But this last game, I think really solidified a few grades for me with that, in a not good way,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, yeah, first period, I can't complain too much. They held the Caps to 4 shots on goal, took 11 shots themselves. Pretty great overall. I thought that, no penalties, great. You didn't give up anything on the power play. Cool, great. We go to the second period. It starts out with Boone Jenner getting a goal within the first 30 seconds. And you're like, oh, shit, okay, cool. Well, this season kind of sucks, but at least we might end on like a bit of a high note, something like that. And nope. Nope. Blue Jackets couldn't pull it off when the Caps got the 2-minute man on the ice penalty.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull it off.
Nope.
Then Anthony Beauvillier got the tying goal at 10 minutes 46 seconds into the period. So 1 goal apiece for the period. 6 shots for Washington, 9 for Columbus. Once again, Columbus keeping them to pretty low shot count. And excuse me, as soon as I start talking. The third period comes along, and there's a bit of fighting. There's 1 penalty killed early on, and then with just a few minutes left in the third period, as always, Jacob Chickering got a power play goal which ended up being the winning goal. That was off of a high stick penalty from Miles Wood. Same guy who got the penalties against him, Martin Feravari. I think that's it's close enough.
Yeah.
I don't care. Season's over. I don't need to know how to pronounce people's names. But yeah, overall, just not a great performance. It was really, really disheartening as well, seeing the amount of red. We know, we've talked about this many times in the show. We're well aware that Nationwide Arena is a very nice arena, and looking around the league, tons of fans have commented and say how much they like it. You know, I've talked to Devils fans, a friend of mine that came into town, and they're like, "Oh, this is a really nice place," and like, you know, for them to come to Columbus to see a game, plane ticket included and everything, it was cheaper than to see a New Jersey Devils game.
Yep.
So I kind of get it. You know, especially even including airfare. You know, it's not like you're getting tickets to Miami or like Las Vegas or something like that. That's like the pinnacle. Like it's a huge tourist destination and shit like that. Like people are flying in and out of Columbus for all the time. It's a big city, but you know, I think the prices are reasonable, especially if you fly into somewhere like Newark or something too.
Yep.
You know, it's a bit smaller. I don't know if you can fly into there or not from big commercial flights, but anyway, yeah, it's a little disheartening because then you can hear it on the broadcast too. Like I just turn it down. Honestly, I kind of had to turn it down because they're so loud, and because many of them are probably used to paying so much more for seats. A lot of them are in the lower bowl.
Yeah,
which is where the cameras are at, and you can see that. I'm literally looking at a paused screenshot from a game over here, from the recap I was watching earlier. That just has, I can see more red than blue. And granted, at this point in the game, this is at the very end too. There might have been quite a few fans that had left already. I can't blame you. It's disappointing. You know, good on the captain for showing up and getting a goal there. But that was the fourth and final, obviously final, meeting of the Capitals this season. And out of the 4-game series, 0 for 4. Oh, not a single game in the series won against the Caps this year. And the Caps didn't make the playoffs either. Like, they're a good team, but you should have had at least one of those. Lost 5-1 October 24th. Lost 5-1 November 24th. Lost 2-0, shutout. At least you didn't lose by 4, but you still got shut out, no goals. December 7th, and then the final nail in the coffin, 2-1. So that is a goal differential of 14-3 for the year. Caps getting 14 goals to the Blue Jackets 3 goals. And just a little bit of a highlight as to why, yes, at the end of the season, it comes down to 1 game or 2 games, and you win and you get in. But let's go back to October 24th and talk about that 5-1 loss. And then 1 month later, the exact same team. It doesn't matter home or away. 5-1 loss. Doesn't matter. So we're gonna, because we're gonna talk about grades like later on and whatever, especially when it comes to coaches. But we also have to give Dean Evison a grade, and I think that we have to curve the bar a little bit for bonus a bit too, since he was only there for like a third of the season.
Yeah.
So overall, I'll be generous. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because the first, they held him off for the first period. But one thing I noticed here towards the latter part of the season, the face-offs have gotten worse, I think. And I'm not exactly sure why that is, but it's not very good. Do you know how many hits the Blue Jackets had this game in a full 60-minute game after a shit season?
It was
three.
it was god awful.
3 hits. I don't even feel like the Caps had that many, and they still had 14.
Yeah,
You need to, like, no matter what, if like,
something.
oh yeah, I don't want to hurt myself before the offseason. I want to get hurt. Cool. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, oh yeah, you're not in the playoffs, so maybe you're not, like, you just don't care as much. But it still matters.
It does.
It still matters. Because I mean, you're not like tanking for a pick. This just sucks to, like I said, I would say it's the icing on the cake, but what's the exact opposite? It's the I don't know. Just getting kicked when you're down. That's the opposite.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, piss poor performance, unfortunately. And there was some choice words from Rick Bowness, head coach Rick Bowness, after the
Yeah.
after the game. There's been some media availability not too long ago, and I understand. I get it. I don't think I disagreed with the thing that man said. I think he walked it back like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Right?
He did walk it back a bit, because I think that he realized, from my perspective, I think he realized that, like, okay, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said what I said in that moment. So I'll just take it back a little bit, because I think that there are some we all have our own ideas on who we think he's talking about, like who doesn't care about winning or doesn't hate losing. But there are some players on the Blue Jackets that do not fit that category, like Zach Werenski. The dude, busting his balls off, trying really hard every game, playing a real good game, and dragging the Blue Jackets the last 2 seasons to fighting for a playoff spot, where you get 2 straight 80-plus point seasons and 2 20-plus goal seasons, and being a real good defenseman. And then he's doing all that even after he played in the Olympics, and you can tell that he's tired and maybe not as good as he could be, but he's still doing it anyways and still good. So like him, like he actually cares. And Adam Fantilli, and there's other guys you could say that care. So that, like, they don't fit in that category, and the other players that do. And I do think, in my opinion, I think that's why he kind of walked it back, because it does kind of sound kind of bad. And it's like, okay, you know what? Not everyone. That doesn't fit everyone.
Let me go over what exactly he said real quick. Well, so he said, you know what you got to do? Just look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. Like, I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, if I come back, I'm changing the culture. Sorry, I'm trying to read with this video. I should have just gotten a quote. These guys, they don't care. They don't care. Losing is not important enough to them. I'm butchering this. Hold on. I have the audio. I'll just play the audio from it real quick, I think.
That's a good idea.
I have to make the site.
All you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. Like, I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, I'm changing this culture. These guys, they don't care. Losing is not important enough to them. It doesn't bother them. Like, how can you go out and play like that? Should have done this about a month ago. But this is why we are where we are. This is why we're at the playoffs. That kind of effort. Losing, you have to hate losing. I don't care if it's a meaningless game. I don't care. Show up and compete. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. What else you want to know?
What else you want to know? Like, I totally get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You've been seeing, like, if you just look at the stats, ever since like they won that win streak, it just plummeted bad. It went from like second in the Metro to not making the playoffs real quick. And let's talk about why we might think this is. Because so the Blue Jackets in the past very few years have gone through let's see. So Rick Bowness is news coach. This was Dean Evison. Before that is Pascal Vincent.
Yep.
Before that was
Mike
Brad Larson.
No, Mike Babcock.
Oh, fucking Babcock. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Then Brad Larson.
Then Brad Larson. Before that,
John
Tortorella.
Tortorella.
So
6.
that's 6 coaches. Granted, one didn't even play, but that impacted the team probably more than we all realized, because not only did that impact the team, now the guys are probably wondering, like, what the hell is going on with the front office? Why do they think this was a good idea? What like, are they living in the past?
No.
There's a bunch of boomers run the show here.
No.
Like, I joke a little bit, but like I'm no offense to anyone who would consider themselves a boomer out there. I'm just saying that did not work with this young team with Mike Babcock.
Well,
Maybe it could have, maybe it should have, but like it wasn't going to, and that is a lot of the fault of the front office.
yeah. And what that does is, because all off season long, the assistant coaches, Pascal Vincent and other assistant coaches, are working with Mike Babcock to put a plan in place on how they want to play with Mike Babcock. And then Mike Babcock does his stupid, idiotic phone shenanigans thing, and then he gets fired. And then it's like, okay, about like, well, right before training camp starts, it's like, okay, Pascal Vincent, I know you've been preparing as an assistant coach all off season long, but now I need you to be a head coach. And training camp starts in 2 days. It's like, okay, here you go. And I'm not even saying Pascal Vincent was perfect, because, no one is. There's some mistakes that happen, like, oh, what are you doing there? But there was some good stuff there as well. But you're certainly not helping him when you do that to him. And essentially, you kind of throw him under the bus and say, okay, I know you've been preparing all offseason to be the assistant coach working with Mike Babcock, but he's gone now. Training camp starts in 2 days. You're the coach. Good luck now. Like, that does not work. Like that, that did set up the Blue Jackets for some bad times because of that. We'll never know this because Pascal Vincent got fired for Dean Evison, which I'm okay with. But if Pascal Vincent is given an entire offseason to prepare as the head coach, it's a whole different ball game. It's much better results, because then he would get to put in what he wants, not. I have a feeling a lot of that was what Mike Babcock wants, and you're just going with it. But we'll never know, because in the end, he gets fired. We get Dean Evison, and then he's first good season, awesome. He does way better than expected. The Blue Jackets weren't expected to be that good, but they were that good. And this season, they're supposed to be even better. And generally speaking, under him this season, it was not good. It was god awful. There was every so often a game or two there where it was good, but then it'd go right back down the toilet to bad, and just bad. And then he gets fired, and then that kind of makes things worse. And then Rick Bowness comes in, and things do get better. But like, you just have to stop doing this coaching thing where you keep changing coaches. It just has to stop. You find a coach and you stick with him, whether that means Rick Bowness or whoever is next after him. That's it. Stick with them, because this is screwing the Blue Jackets. This is contributing to why they're not doing as well. It needs to stop. Pick a coach. Stay with him. Get some needed stability.
Yeah. So kind of what I was getting at there was like the coaches all seem to lose the room. after a while. They all come in hot, and they all start out hot, and then slowly something just like the room seems to get lost. We saw that happen with Dean Evanson. We saw that happen with Pascal Vincent. And so we got to kind of look at beyond them as well,
Yes.
the coaching, because what I'm saying is I think the players are starting to like not only have doubts. So the coaches are losing their room because the players already don't have faith in the management. I think I'm throwing shots out here. I'm kind of just talking a little bit of shit, but like I really think that because what's been a constant in all the years that they have not won? What's been constant? So they changed the GM. Okay. So there's a positive outlook there. There went a decade of an era of a guy who did good and bad at times. And so that changed. The coaching changed. The coach changed so many times. The players have been coming in and out, rotation throughout the past 2 decades. I mean, I'm gonna like realistically, how much does like this guy have in any sort of say in things? But at the same time, it makes you wonder the longest tenured person with the Blue Jackets, other than McConnell's, has been Mike Priest. He's like the CEO and an alternate governor. Like I said, I'm not really sure exactly what it is that he does with the organization. I just know that that's been one I saw someone talking about in the comments at one point was that's been kind of the one kind of constant thing. And there's other things that have been going on for years, and it just what I don't know. I don't know if that would change anything at all. Start changing culture, mindset. I don't know, something deep in there. And I don't even know that he can be. All right, I'm not even saying that he should be. I'm just saying that there's a weird, like everything else has changed. And yeah, so Bones is back next year. We know he's coming back. That's been announced and decided already. So after he made that comment, then he did walk it back a little bit. Can you do you know what it was he said when he walked it back comparing to the original quote?
No.
I don't quite remember. I can't paraphrase it off the top of my head.
But the basic idea, he walked it back because he didn't mean everyone, basically. Because I think that he understands that there are some players in the Blue Jackets that do care.
That would trade their left foot for a chance at the cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's people that do care. So I don't necessarily think it was fair to say that they don't care when talking about everyone.
Yeah.
So
well, and he talked about a culture change, and this has been ongoing so far, and then so we heard. I'm gonna go back to the whole like the losing the locker room kind of thing, and we heard some rumors back when like Line was having problems. He was taking some leave and whatnot, and heard some rumors that there was, just some like bad blood in the locker room or some sort of like just people not wanting to get along or not giving a shit or something. And what's going on now? Just like with the Mike Priest thing, I can start like just naming names and just trying to start pointing fingers at people just without much of a clue and just kind of be talking a little bit of shit. But we have to look at what's been constant these last few years. What changed right after Torch changed? The captaincy, or right before, right? I like Boone Jenner a lot. He is, to me, is Captain Blue Jacket. His I've said this a million times. He's Captain Boone Jenner is literally CBJ. That's what you can spell it with that. I think he's exemplified this team perfect. And I think he's got them through a time that was incredibly tough for everything, from going all the way down to the bottom of the league, losing Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, to coming back a little bit, having a good season, to this season now. It's been really tough to be Captain Boone Jenner. And I think I seen he won the community MVP award for this year. He does great things in the community. Absolutely. Really couldn't ask for a much better kind of guy as your captain,
Mhm.
except for more wins. And I'm not sure it's not just like up to him,
Right.
but he is the liaison. He is the number one guy between the players and the coach. And there seems to be some sort of disconnect between the players and the coach. And on and off the ice, Boone Jenner is an exemplary person. He does great things for the community. Absolutely phenomenal player. Leaves on the ice. Gives his all every game. And I'm not saying anything negative about him in this light at all. We're just talking about a change. And what a change might mean and what it could possibly, have to happen. It happened with Nick Foligno. I still have a lot of love, and the city of Columbus still has a lot of love for Nick Foligno. Why wouldn't you? He was great. He was an absolute great captain. There was time though where this younger group had kind of started coming up, and they needed a little bit of a younger, fresher face, and that was Boone Jenner. And I think he did great. At this point, I think we're going to start seeing some rotation of players a bit more. It's Don Waddell era.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, there's some players that you're going to 100% keep. You're going to keep Zach Werenski no matter what.
Right.
There's absolutely zero reason that you could not trade him for any better person. Literally, unless you're trading for freaking, like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to trade him for Quinn Hughes. I like Quinn Hughes. I would love to have him on the team. I just think that what would be the point? We have Zach Werenski.
Yeah.
Type shit like that. But we're gonna see some UFAs and some RFAs going here real quick. I don't know if you want to talk about this tonight, Kev, but there's unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
A lot coming up.
There is. We
And
got
I'm just gonna name some. We don't have to talk about it. I'm just
No.
gonna name them all real quick.
Yeah.
Zach Aston Reese, Charlie Coyle, Erica Branson, Danton Heinen, Boone Jenner, Mason Marchment, Brennan Smith, and then RFAs, Fantilli Grief, Sillinger, and Igor Zamula.
Yeah. We got a lot of shows to do here, so we gotta save some of that for other shows here.
Well, I just kind of want to bring it up with all these end of the year quotes and whatnot. The changing of the culture comments. That's another thing that could be included would be coaching staff.
So
coaching staff, we could see a mix up there too.
So
obviously, we know one guy's back, and the season did not start with Rick Bowness. He did not get the chance to do a camp. He did not get the chance to choose his own people.
Nope.
Or really, he was thrown in just like a substitute teacher that has to take over for the rest of the school year for your English teacher who had a baby.
Right.
I know we've all had that happen. But he did a great job.
Yep.
Was the 10-win streak or however long it was that good, thank God we don't have Everson, or was that a truly made a difference in the way that he played their lines and formulated the team? What do you think?
It's probably a little bit of both, because that's what I think it is. And of course, besides the game and everything, the big news is that the Blue Jackets bring back Rick BOWNESS, and I love it. That's just a great move, because the Blue Jackets played way better under Rick BOWNESS. It just that awesome. Because a lot of the BS that you saw generally speaking, didn't happen anymore. You didn't really see any third period BS. No stupid turnovers or brain farts, generally speaking. Everything was just better. It was more, they were aggressive, but it was aggressive with a purpose. There's strategy behind it. Sometimes I'd see where the Blue Jackets would be aggressive and there's no reason behind it. Like, why? Like, it's like, this is part of the game where, you know what, you're up a goal or two. No, be a little more conservative here, and we're being aggressive, and sometimes it costs us. And it's like what are we doing here? So, like, here under Rick Bowness, it was aggressive, but with the purpose. There was a reason behind it. There was strategy behind it. And we were shooting the puck more. That's obviously, I've been a big fan of that. And I've been a very vocal critic of that on this show, of just not shooting the puck and looking for that pretty play and just overpassing the puck. For the most part, we didn't really see that overpassing the puck BS anymore. So that was good. The defense got better. Generally speaking, it was like a 9 out of 10 for Rick Bowness, and I love it. And I'm glad that the Blue Jackets are bringing him back, because I do believe if he's the coach for the full season this season, the Blue Jackets are in the playoffs, and it's a whole different ball game. We're talking about what's going on with the Blue Jackets in the playoffs, So he's back, and now we get to see what does a full season under Rick Bowness look like, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I want to change the culture. I want to do this. I want to do that. Good. I'm looking forward to it, because it's a small sample size, but we've seen what you can do so far, and I love it. So you do that with the full season, and you're good to go. So I'm just excited to see what the Blue Jackets can do with the full season of Rick Bowness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we look at his track record with the last teams he coached, he last coached in Winnipeg in 2023-24, right? So he made the playoffs with Winnipeg and Dallas for like 3 years in a row. In 2019 and 2020 season with Dallas, he won the Western Conference Championship.
Stanley Cup final.
Yep. So his last season with Winnipeg, I think we talked about this when he was first hired too. He coached 82 games, full season, 52-24, 52-24 and 6 for 110 points. That will get you in. They ended up not making it past, I believe, the first round. I went 1-4, unfortunately. And kind of the same thing happened in 22-23. Went 46-33, 95 points, and went 1-4 in the playoffs. So season before that, 46-30 with Dallas. That time they actually played the full 7, but they went 3-4 in the playoffs. Before that, they did not make it. They went 23-19. That was a 56-game season in 2020 and 21. So that was a weird one anyway. But yeah. So I mean, we can go all the way back. He's got a very storied coaching career. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's made the playoffs 5 times in his career, getting as far as the Stanley Cup Finals, being the Western Conference champions. So 840 games under his belt, 331 wins, 419 losses, 48 ties, 42 overtime losses, 752 total points. Anyway, I'm excited for him. I want to see what he can do. He's been in that situation where he was thrown into a new team and did well. So I'm glad to welcome him back. I'm curious what all the moves are going to bring this summer and what that's going to do with everything. But he gets to make his game plan for the whole year,
Right.
and he was able to do that with let's see. So actually, when he was thrown into Dallas, he only had those 38 games for that season coached. That was in 2019, 2020. So I think that was abbreviated season 2. I don't recall, but exactly. But yeah, so I don't know, man. His last season with Winnipeg, I mean, 52 wins, 24 losses, 6 overtime losses, 110 points.
Right.
I really feel like this team's not too far off from what that Winnipeg team in 23-24 was.
Right.
I don't think it's too far off. And then, with Waddell trying to stack the team together, like how he stacked the Canes together, who are now reaping the benefits of that. Yes, they've made obviously they made more moves since they have a new GM and whatnot, but looking forward to having his input from the get-go. And yeah, for me, the other big questions are what other coaches are coming back. We know there's going to be some, but there's definitely going to be some moves. Bones has every right to get his own people in there. I think that this offseason, we're going to have to be a little bit emotionally unattached to some people. And it's unfortunate. I think we're going to have to I think the whole conversation of, oh, it's a business is going to come up multiple times. And we just got to kind of understand that, because there's going to be some players that I like. Almost all of these guys, they're fantastic. I can't speak for everyone, but everyone that I've met has been fantastic, very nice people on and off the ice. I mean, I don't know if Olivier is considered nice on the ice, but you know what I mean. Pretty stand-up guy, and I wouldn't want to see anybody have to go. But it's the second year in a row that Blue Jackets were almost in the exact same position. Now, last year, it didn't seem quite as bad.
No.
It was like, oh, well, you did better than you're supposed to. At least you got this far. Congrats. You guys played really strong. You guys, played in Gaudreau's memory.
Yep.
They had the season they needed to kind of recover from all that and get through everything mentally and emotionally. And they were like, okay, so if they keep a lot of the same guys, and everything, and the coaching, then they should do better than that with more time to prepare for the next season and meshing with people, playing together for a while. And then Don Waddell made some pretty good moves, in my opinion. I mean, Coyle has been the single best pickup like this whole season. I'm really not sure if anyone, if we're looking at the stats, the points. Oh, that is not the right season. Huh. Yeah. Charlie Coyle is 4th in points with 58 points. No other person that was picked up this past time. Mason Marchment, he only played 39 games, so he could have been just as good as Coyle was. Mason Marchment had 32 points in 39 games. So those two guys were pickups, and they're both in the top 10 of points earners on the Blue Jackets. With Marchment only playing like less than half the season with the Blue Jackets. 39 games.
Isaac Lundestrom, what a pickup too.
So Lundestrom,
defensive stud.
Yeah. Well, Miles Wood turned out to be pretty decent overall. I mean, then the thing is, these pickups came in and were great and did great, but then we're looking at players who were supposed to and didn't.
Kent Johnson.
I'm literally talking what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we saw him do great like last season. I don't know
what happened.
Yeah. It's really hard to say. Like, I think that he doesn't have to go by any means. I think that he definitely could, use another season, see what happens. He's young. He's very young. Those two pickups specifically, did absolutely great. So I'm looking at Waddell's. I'm looking forward to what he's going to do this offseason. Yeah, there's a couple of people who I don't care if they come back or not. But overall, I'm pretty happy with bonus in the bonus era so far.
Yeah,
The Everson era, I
it's okay.
didn't hate.
It's
I don't have ill will towards the guy, but it was, run of the middle of the road type stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's kind of how the Wild did too. They would always get so close, or they'd make the playoffs and then just be gone.
Well, Minnesota made the playoffs 4 of the 5 seasons Everson was there,
Right.
so that's good. And the thing that really stood out when I look back on it is that you look at some of the guys that are big names for Minnesota right now, that are a big reason why they are right now. It's one of the best teams in hockey. They have got, Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov, all did really good under Dean Evison, and he's played in a role into their development on where they are today. And then you look at we'll just name like two guys. Well, actually 3. I mean, this last season, and even a little bit into this season, where Adam Fantilli had 31 goal season last season, played really good under Dean Evison. Kirill Marchenko, 31 goal season, played really good under Dean Evison. Voronkov played really good under Dean Evison. Kent Johnson last season has his best season under Dean Evison, plays really good. Denton Matejchuk played really good under Dean Evison, and Cole Sillinger had his moments where he looked good too. So he took there was good stuff. He took them out where he was able to develop some of Minnesota's top guys, and he took that with the Blue Jackets and developed some of their top guys. So there's good stuff there. It just didn't really work out in the end.
Yeah. So just to talk about Everson a little bit, because he was obviously a huge part of the season. He played coached a little over half of it. So for this season, Dean Evison coached 45 games. He went 19, 19, and 7 for 45 points. That was a points percentage of 500. Pretty run of the mill, middle of the road. And this would have been the 3rd year of him coaching that he would not have made the playoffs. Because that last season in Minnesota, for whatever happened, he only coached the first 19 games, and he lost 10 out of the. He went 5-10-4. So after the one loss streak, they just fired him. And it really wasn't a big loss streak or anything like that happened. I think it happened so quick that Everson was fired too. It was it's kind of not on a whim, but all of a sudden it was wham bam, and they're hiring a guy within a few days. They didn't even have Bonus hired yet till after he was fired, right? I don't think they had him on the phone, hired him, and then okay, bye. I think they were okay, bye.
No, because Don Waddell, he was very careful about this. He did not want to put the Blue Jackets in a position where you fire someone and you try and get the guy and then you don't get him and then you're screwed, sort of thing. He did not want to do that. He wanted, if he was, he kind of took a big swing at Rick Bowness. And essentially what he did is that he went to Rick Bowness and said, I want you to coach for us. And he wanted to make sure that he would say, that Rick Bowness would say yes. And then once Rick Bowness says yes, the next day, then you fire Dean Evison, because then you have a plan in place. So Don Waddell was smart about that. He wasn't stupid. You fire a guy, you try to go get another guy, then what if he says no? Then you're screwed. No, he didn't do that. It's, I'm going to wait until this guy says yes. And then he says yes. All right, a plan's in place. then you can fire Dean Evison. So, like, you're not screwed.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But it worked. It worked. But anyways, on to the next thing. Zach Werenski should win the Norris Trophy. He should have won it last year, but, you know, whatever. They gave it to Cal McCarr, like, you know, good player. I'm, you know, not saying he doesn't deserve it, but Zach Werenski should have won it last year, and he should win it this year. Why? Because not only do I think that he's been, you know, one of the best defensemen in hockey, but it's another thing to consider here is, you know, other people that are in the running for this, a guy like a Quinn Hughes or like a Cal McCarr or Evan Bouchard, all good defensemen. If you told me they won, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But something to consider here. Evan Bouchard gets to play with Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent, and Leon Draisaitl, and, you know, a whole bunch of other guys. Cal McCarr gets Nathan McKinnon and a bunch of other really good players that Colorado has. Zach Werenski also has good players to play with. Quinn Hughes, he gets to play with Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov. Now, Zach Werenski also gets good players, but when you compare that to what other teams have, it's just not as good. Zach Werenski gets Adam Fantilli and Kirill Marchenko. Zach Werenski also gets, you know, Kent Johnson, Boone Jenner, Sean Monahan. You know, they're good. You know, Dante Fabro, Denton Matejchuk, Matthew Olivier. Like, that's good. You know, but not as good compared to what other teams have. And even when you put all that off to the side, Zach Werenski is still really good and finds a way to be good and help the Blue Jackets to where they are today, where the last 2 seasons, they are a good competitive team fighting for a playoff spot until the last moment of the season. Take Zach Werenski away. Where are the Blue Jackets? Not where they are right now. Not as good. Take Cal McCarr away. Colorado is still really good. It would hurt them, but they're still good. You know, take Quinn Hughes away. Minnesota's still probably real good because they still have Brock Faber. They still have Matt Boldy. They still have Kirill Kaprizov.
Marcus Foligno.
You know, Foligno, like, they have good guys. They have good guys. So, take away Evan Bouchard. Oilers are still doing pretty fine because they still have, you know, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and a whole bunch of other guys. So, take Zach Werenski away, and the Blue Jackets are not doing as well. And that's another thing that has to be considered, in my opinion. That the Blue Jackets are not going to do as well if you took away Zach Werenski. Compared that to other teams, sure, they wouldn't be doing as good, but they'd still be fine. Can't necessarily say that about the Blue Jackets. Even though, you know, for whatever reason, when Zach Werenski didn't play this season, the Blue Jackets won games this season. But point still stands. If you took them away from a long period of time, they would not be where they are today as a team that has been a good competitive team fighting for a playoff spot until the last part of the season, the last 2 seasons. Like, that just, he is that important. So he really needs to be winning the Norris Trophy. It needs to happen. And he has a lot more momentum this season. Even the national media in the hockey world are saying that, oh yeah, Zach Werenski should win it. So that says something. Because last year's like, well, you know, he could win it. Yeah, he could do it. But, ooh, Cal McCarr or any other defenseman that was in the running for it last season. You're not really seeing that. A lot of it's like, yep, Zach Werenski's having a real good season and he should win it. And it's not just Blue Jackets fans saying it. It's not just the Columbus media saying it. It's people in the hockey world outside of the Blue Jackets, outside of Blue Jackets fans, outside of the Columbus media. It's people in the national media for hockey that are saying that he should win it as well. So that says something. So Zach Werenski should be winning the Norris Trophy this season. It needs to happen. That's just me, though.
Yeah. So one thing that, like, in the criteria of the James Norris Memorial Trophy is awarded annually to the NHL defenseman who demonstrates the greatest all-round ability at their position through the regular season. So that's not just including points. That's not just including goals and assists. Because if it were, it would default to Evan Bouchard.
Yep.
Who's playing for Edmonton with 95 points, which is pretty insane. That's a lot. You know who comes right after him? Well, defenseman-wise, is Zach Werenski with 81 points. You know, all these dudes have tons of blocks, hits, takeaways. So, and Cale Makar had 2 less points than Werenski. Hudson had 1 with less point than him. And then there's still people calling for Quinn Hughes. At 7-6. He was the in points wise, he was the he's finished 5th for defenseman.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that he also finished with a -4, whereas every other guy on this list for defensemen are a plus.
Yeah.
At least a plus. Zach Werenski also got the 81 points in only 75 games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing to kind of keep in consideration as well. 2 game-winning goals. 22 goals, 59 assists. That is pretty sick. That is the most goals of a defenseman. Well, is it? I didn't look at anyone past number 5 defenseman. 22 goals. Darren Rash had 22 goals. He just had a lot less assists. All right, so don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure that's the most or tied with the most for defensemen. Yeah, I really think that Zach Werenski should do that. I think he demonstrates such a great athletic ability all around, and not only do I think he's the best defender for the Blue Jackets, I think he kind of at times has carried them to some wins.
Yep.
I think that we need a forward like that to balance it out.
Yes.
We truly do, and I wish I think that will be Fantilli.
Yes.
I wish that it would be Kent Johnson too, but yeah, I really think that he's just like one guy. Marchenko wasn't able to quite keep up this year. He did great season. I ain't knocking on him. Just saying. So when we look at Werenski's position on the team, because let's look at Edmonton and let's be real about something. Evan Bouchard has 74 assists, in part because guys on this team, Connor McDavid, have 48 goals, 35 goals. Leon Draisaitl, 31 goals for Zach Hyman, and 3 dudes with 20 goals and 2 guys with close. So when his role on the team, Evan Bouchard, is 3rd in the points standings. Fantastic defenseman still, not saying anything against him. But his role is not to be the number 1 guy on the team. There's someone else doing that. There's 2 other someone else is doing that. McDavid and Draisaitl. So when we consider all the things about the teams that these guys are on, when we look at the Blue Jackets, and we just all, who had the most points? Zach Werenski did. He had third most goals on the team as a defenseman. I think with all considered, I truly think that his points per game average is also really high because 75 games, 81 points. He's more than a point per game player. Yeah, I guess that's my argument as to why he should be definitely considered. It's all around ability.
Yes. So, so next up, I'd like to talk about this. We got, some prospect news involving the Blue Jackets on where some prospects are going. Is first off, the Blue Jackets will have 2 prospects that will be going to Minnesota next season. They have defenseman Tanner Hendricks and goalie Melvin Strahl will be going up to Minnesota to play for the Golden Gophers. So, and to further back this up, just to show that I'm not lying, I'm actually telling the truth here, is here we have the Gophers posting that here you go. This is a post from the Gophers saying that here it is. This is Blue Jackets prospect Melvin Strahl. He's going to go play for Minnesota. So he'll be up in Minnesota playing for the Gophers. And there you go. We also have Blue Jackets prospect Tanner Hendricks, who will also be going to play hockey up in Minnesota for the Gophers. So two Blue Jackets prospects that will be playing for the Gophers. So I just wanted to throw that one out there. Anything to say here, Hefty Duck?
Oh, pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. And it's always nice when, you like already kind of like a team and like what they're about, and you have a reason to cheer for them now. You got some Blue Jackets guys going over there.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, we're just gonna say we've had this logo many times on the show. Hefty Duck and I, yes, we're Ohio State people, but you know what? One of our favorite logos is this gopher from the Minnesota Golden Gophers playing hockey because it's silly, it's goofy, and a gopher playing hockey, and I just love it.
Yeah, definitely one of my all-time favorites.
Anyways, so on to the next thing. So I saw this recently, and I want to talk about this because some of you people are being a bunch of, Debbie Downers, where, and I'll put it up on the screen. So recently, college basketball, had the Final Four in the national championship game in Indianapolis, to be exact, where the Colts play. And a lot of those seats were kind of up high and kind of hard to see. And a lot of people were like, and I'll put it up on the screen, like, oh, why would you go there? Why would you go there? You can't see anything. But my rebut, and a lot of people had this response to that sort of comment, which I agree with, which is you're going there for a fun once-in-a-lifetime experience because more likely than not, your team is probably not going to get to be good enough to go to the Final Four again. So you go there when you have your chance, and you get to say that you got to see your favorite team play in the Final Four. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you were good enough to see your favorite team play in the national championship game, and maybe you win it. Why do I bring this up? Because it made me think of how so many people complain about outdoor hockey games. And some people did it with the Blue Jackets. Like, oh, why would you sit there? It's kind of up high. Well, you're going there because it's a fun, once-in-a-lifetime experience. More likely than not, your team is probably not going to get picked to play in an outdoor hockey game again. So if you have the chance, do it. A fun, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see your team play in a fun event. And I was at the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and it was awesome! One of the greatest moments of my life! Awesome! 94,000 plus people saw Blue Jackets history. We've always wanted the Blue Jackets to play an outdoor game. And man, it'd be cool. For years, people would say, man, it'd be cool if the Blue Jackets won, and if it'd be cool if the Blue Jackets played an outdoor hockey game. Maybe one day, that would be cool. And then one day finally happened. Blue Jackets fans, we finally got our wish. The Blue Jackets played an outdoor hockey game at Ohio State, and it was awesome. 94,000 plus people saw Blue Jackets history. The Blue Jackets playing an outdoor hockey game at Ohio State, and the Blue Jackets get a big win against Detroit 5-3. That is a fun, once-in-a-lifetime moment, a where were you moment that to this day, people are still talking about it. And like 10, 20 years from now, people will still be talking about it because it was that good of a moment, that good of a game, a special, once-in-a-lifetime event that you're probably not going to be able to do again, just like something like this, like the Final Four is, that most teams are not good enough for that unless you're like a team that's historically good at basketball, like a Duke or a North Carolina, a Kansas, or something like that. But like a team for Michigan, who was one of the Final Four teams, historically Michigan's kind of known as a football school and hockey because they're good at hockey, but basketball historically they're okay. They had some good teams in like the 80s and they won the national championship in the 80s. They've had some other good teams too, but historically they're not really known for basketball. And so for them to get to the Final Four and then win the national championship game, that's something. So like if you liked Michigan, you're probably looking at that like, oh, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That may not happen again. So for the people that did get to go, you got to see your team play in probably a once-in-a-lifetime moment, probably. So like when I saw that, I just had to say something on the show like, oh, why would you go there? You can't see. Well, no, it's a fun, once-in-a-lifetime event that you're probably not going to see your favorite team play in, just like an outdoor hockey game, like what the Blue Jackets did at Ohio State.
Yeah. Sorry, did you have a question for me? I spaced for a little bit.
Well, do you have anything to say about what I've said?
Oh, I don't hear. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's fine. But some of the stuff I see on Twitter, it's just like, you know what? Sometimes it's like, yep, I got to say something about that on the show. And that was one of those things. So next up, how about Erica Branson hanging out with his family at a Clippers game recently?
Nice.
So that was fun. He's with his wife. His wife.
Columbus Clippers.
Yep. Erica Branson with his wife and 2 kids at a Clippers game, and that's fun. And you know what? Clippers games are fun. I've been to multiple Clippers games. It's minor league baseball, top Cleveland prospects, but it's still fun. And for minor league baseball, it's a great place to see a game. And if you haven't done it, you should do it. Great place to see a game. And of course, that's where, the Diamond Dog champion, our guy Harry, that comes from. Because one time years ago, the legendary Diamond Dog champion, our guy Harry, ate 17 Diamond Dogs, hot dogs at a Clippers game. And that's why Harry is the Diamond Dog champion, because showing outstanding eating talent accomplishment by eating 17 Diamond Dogs at a Clippers game. So check out a Clippers game if you haven't. They're awesome. So I think that was fun to see that Eric Gabranson having a fun time at the Clippers game with his family.
It's pretty cool. Does he have one of their hats? Looks like it.
Yeah, Eric Branson's wearing a Clippers hat.
Pretty cool.
That is.
I've heard it's a pretty nice ball field.
It is. It is a great place to see a game. It is a great place to see a game. So now next. Okay, so we talked about this on the show last week very briefly. The Blue Jackets got a new defenseman from Denver named, let's see, hang on a sec here, Boston Buckberger. What a name. Oh my goodness, what a great name. What a great name. And it was kind of towards the end of the show, so we didn't really have a lot of time to talk about him. So I saw this on Twitter, little stats, little analytics about what is he. And as you can see, there's a lot of green here. Green being good. He's a lot of green on defense. He's good on defense. He's, oh my God. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 green circles on offense. My goodness, ridiculously good. 91 for shooting, 97 for shots. XG, expected goals, so 91 for that. 89 for shot quality. 94 for play driving. 91 for passes. 90 for slot passes. 95 for shot assists, so really good at passing the puck, getting assists. Defensively, 90 for net goal XG. 82, 71, 74. Damn, it's pretty good. And let's see here. So, from RMS_hockey, Boston Buckberger is an elite puck-moving defenseman who excels as a high-end playmaker and transition facilitator. His exceptional vision and puck security makes him a premier offensive catalyst capable of quarterbacking a power play. Another thing to consider here, Boston Buckberger played at Denver, who is one of the top hockey programs in college hockey, historically good. They just won another national championship against Wisconsin. This is Denver's 11th national championship. Ridiculously good. So if you play at Denver, you do good, that means you're good. And you're probably going to have a good career in the NHL. So looks like the Blue Jackets have a good one here. So that is great to see. That the Blue Jackets
what a great hockey name.
Oh my God, what a great name. What a banger. An outstanding hockey name.
Yeah, as you can see by this graphic, I mean, he has the potential to be probably kind of similar to Werenski in some ways. He seems like a very offensive-minded defenseman. And right now, his hits might be I'm going to talk about the red circles here, which are the more bad things here.
Yeah.
On defense, his hits are a little low. I think for his age and his size, I think that's fine. don't need to try to be out there hurting yourself at this moment. Like, lay it down when you have to. You can't be afraid out there on the ice. I doubt he is, but the other thing is some like lower takeaways. Put the pressure on more, maybe. I don't know. But transition, he's a defenseman. That doesn't quite translate as much. And then just the in the slot shooting. I think that's pretty typical for D-man too. But pretty excited to see what this guy can do. He won't be playing till next season, right?
Well, that or at minimum, he's with the Monsters.
Oh, right on.
If I had to take a guess, they're probably what the Blue Jackets have done with their defensemen. They play him for the Monsters for a bit, and then they bring him back. They pull him up because that's what they've done with Zach Werenski. They did that with Denton Matejchuk. They stick him with the Monsters for a bit, and you're good to go once you're with the Blue Jackets. Similar thing has happened with Stanislav Sposal and Corson Kuhlmans, the other top defenseman prospect. So probably something like that's going to happen with Boston Buckberger. So just probably something like that's going to happen. So looks like as of right now, the Blue Jackets have a good one.
Oh yeah, pretty stoked.
On to the next thing. Josh Ernest, who is the latest of Michigan guys that the Blue Jackets have in the organization. The Monsters posted this picture of him recently, and oh my goodness, look at this outstanding beard. It is awesome!
Pretty nice. They're going to the playoffs. It ain't gonna get shaved anytime soon.
Oh my goodness, what a great beard. What a great beard. Just great beard. It's just so good. A very good beard. It is just that good. Next up, I'm going to put this up there. Zach Werenski has made history, hockey history. He's only one of 3 defensemen that are born in America that have had at least 2 seasons of 80 or more points.
Dang. That's kind of crazy. That's a very small list.
It is. So
having 2 American-born, 2 80-point seasons.
Yeah, yes. You have to be American-born and have at least 2 80-point seasons, and Zach Werenski is only one of 3 guys.
That's freaking crazy. Huh.
Phil Housley and I'm not even going to try to pronounce
Ryan
the
Leach.
Yeah. So pretty good. So that is pretty cool.
Both those guys were in the early 90s too, where I was
offense was not
doing this in the salary cap era.
It was not as prevalent. I guess like one last big thing I would like to talk about is Kent Johnson. When this end of the season, when they had the press conference, all the players talked to the Columbus media, and then Rick BOWNESS and Don Waddell talked to the Columbus media. And one of the things that we learned is that Rick BOWNESS shared that Kent Johnson was in tears because he knows that he has to be better, because the season that Kent Johnson just had was a 2 out of 10. Generally speaking, it was god-awful. There were some moments this season where he did look good, so we got to be fair to him because he did look good in some moments this season, especially in the shootout. Kent Johnson was really, really ridiculously good in the shootout, just really good. Kent Johnson is a big reason why the Blue Jackets were so good in the shootout this season. Having said all of that, he was still really bad for most of the season. And We saw the old Kent Johnson, not the Kent Johnson that we saw last season, where they told him put on weight, and he did, and he was better for it, to where he was not getting pushed off the puck. He was not getting bullied. And he was much better for that. Because now, Kent Johnson could not only beat you on the outside, which he's really good at, he could also beat you on the inside. He could get to the dirty areas. He could get goals. He could make an awesome pass anywhere on the ice. He could win puck battles, win a board battle. That's a big reason why Kent Johnson had a really good season last season, where he had 24 goals and 57 points, the best season he's ever had in the NHL. This season, we didn't really, generally speaking, we really didn't see that Kent Johnson. God awful. Like, what happened to Kent Johnson? And you know what? We now know this, is that he lost weight. The Blue Jackets told him to put on weight. He did. He was better for it. And coming into this season, he lost weight. And that is making the difference in why he was not as good as he was last season. Because for the most part this season, Kent Johnson was not the 2024-2025 Kent Johnson. Kent Johnson was kind of the old Kent Johnson, where he would get pushed off the puck. He would lose 50-50 puck battles. He would lose board battles. And when that happens again and again and again and again, it becomes a liability. It becomes turnovers. The puck goes the other way. Sometimes the puck's in the back of your net. We did not see that last season. But this season, generally speaking, we unfortunately saw that. And Kent Johnson knows, we now know this for sure, that Kent Johnson officially knows that he has to be better. Because like Rick BOWNESS said in the Columbus media, he was in tears. Because Kent Johnson knows how bad that was. Kent Johnson knows that he has to be better. And it's good that he knows that he has to be better. Because the Blue Jackets need Kent Johnson to be the 2024-2025 Kent Johnson. Need it. Because it's a whole different ball game when he's that Kent Johnson. The Blue Jackets are that much better. Way better when Kent Johnson is that Kent Johnson. When Kent Johnson is not that Kent Johnson, not only does it affect him, it also affects the Blue Jackets. And it brings him down, it brings the Blue Jackets down. And we saw the consequences of that. The Blue Jackets did not do as well. Guys like Adam Fantilli and Kirill Marchenko did not do as well. They still had really good seasons, but they did not do as well. Why? Well, when you only have one line that's going for a good chunk of the season, which was Adam Fantilli, Kirill Marchenko, and then some combination of Sean Monahan, Dmitry Voronkov, whatever, teams will play then and say, okay, if we take away the first line, there's a good chance we're going to win. Not always the case, but there's a good chance we're going to win. And that's exactly what happened. Because Kent Johnson was not very good, it brought himself and the Blue Jackets down to where we only had one good line a good chunk of the season. And then people say, oh, why is it Kent Johnson playing on like the fourth line? And it's like, well, have you seen him play? Like that, he deserves that. When you don't play very good, you get bumped down to the fourth line. And when you've been given so many opportunities this season, be first line, second line, third line, fourth line, and for the most part, it's awful, that's what's going to happen. Other teams key in on this and say, well, we don't have to worry about him anymore. If we just focus on Adam Fantilli or Kirill Marchenko, maybe Zach Werenski, we should be okay. Teams could not do that last season, but they could do this season, unfortunately. So, Kent Johnson, you need to be better. You need to put on the weight that you lost, because it's not going to matter. You can have all the talent in the world. We've seen you do it, but it's not going to matter if you're just going to be pushed off the puck easily. because then it's just a wasted spot. We need you to be 2024, 2025 season, Kent Johnson. We need you to put the weight back on that you did in the first place, but then lost it. So you need to put that weight back on and then get going. We've seen you be a good player. You can do it, but we need more consistency from you because that will make the Blue Jackets better. It will make your job better. And it'll make everyone's job better. Because right now, Blue Jackets fans and the Blue Jackets are thinking, oh, crap. What are we going to do with Kent Johnson? Oh, crap. Do we have to go out of our way and try and get a first line, second line guy? If you come back as next season comes around and you come back as 2024, 2025 Kent Johnson, Blue Jackets, a lot of their problems will go away and they'll be good to go. And they won't necessarily have to worry about like, oh, crap, what are we going to do with Kent Johnson? Oh, crap, we have to go get a first line, second line guy somewhere, whether that be free agency or trade. So, like, it's good to know that he has to be better because we've seen he can do it, but we need more consistency.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that's been hurting him a lot this year. It was so cool to watch him play last year. I mean, this past season was worse than his debut rookie season. So Kent Johnson played like 9 games in 21-22. I'm not talking about that. But in 22-23, he was 20 years old. He played 79 games, played a full season's worth of games. 16 goals, 24 assists for 40 points. 126 shots on goal. I can go on. The next season, 42 games. So we're not going to talk about that. He got injured. It is what it is. Excuse me. It's getting late. So last season, 24-25. 68 games played, 24 goals, 33 assists for 57 points. That was his best season, and he did that with 123 shots on goal. So his shot percentage went up by quite a bit there. So this last season, 76 games played, so 8 more than last season. 7 goals. 7. When he entered the league, he had 3 goals in 9 games. And his debut season, like his debut at the end of the season, right? 3 goals in 9 games. So 7 is really that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is.
In 76 games. 15 assists. Okay, I guess I understand if you're maybe not on a line that has a bunch of other high goal scorers, but you're a playmaker. If you're not scoring goals, you need to be making the plays, or if you're not making the plays, you need to be scoring the goals, and he's well aware of that. I think no one's been more aware of his stat sheet than he has been this whole season. It's obviously, I guarantee it's been in his head a lot. It's hard hump to get over. You start getting kind of locked in your own head. 22 points for this season. So, what happened between last season and this season? Well, last season, one thing that I noticed, and I think I had mentioned this multiple times during the season, was that he looked like, because Kent Johnson's not the biggest guy on the ice,
Right.
It looked like he had been watching some film of John Gaudreau.
Right.
And skating a little bit like him in Gaudreau. Gaudreau never avoided the action, but he was very good at avoiding getting hit full on. Granted, other teams might not have wanted to as much because, you get to a star, you're going to have Olivier or Goodbranson breathing down, your neck.
Yeah.
So, but, Kent Johnson is bigger than that. in learning that he lost some weight. I mean, I'm not surprised during a season. It's got to be tough to keep on weight sometimes. Like when like having the time to work out and not tiring yourself out completely for games and practices, and then eating enough too, eating well while you're on the road.
Yeah.
That's gotta be tough. Because I mean, these guys are skating miles, like on the ice in games. You know, like they're doing a lot of cardio. I guarantee it's probably hard to keep weight on, especially these guys are pretty young, so their metabolisms are probably like on fire constantly.
So
Yeah, and so people might be like, "Oh, well, you know, yeah, he played more games than last year, but his time on ice might be a little bit less." So he had 1,006 minutes this year. He had 1,176 minutes last year. So yes, he had on average more time on the ice. Where's his average time on ice? Actually, that should be okay. So 13 minutes, 14 seconds this season, 17 minutes, 18 seconds last season. That shouldn't. But the thing is, he was getting that amount of playing time because he was producing and performing. It really dropped. I mean, when we look at the other season that he did 40 points in, he had 14 and a half minutes on average. So he was doing more with less. And so the one thing that he did that did beef up this year, he had some more blocks. He had the most blocks in his career, and he had 15 hits, which is tied for his most, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to pinpoint the exact thing. I don't know. I feel like over the summer, with having one solid coaching change, who knows what the dynamic is going to change, like in the locker room as well. That could get better, I guess. With a different mindset, who knows? It really could change. I hate even having to say that for a second year in a row. Well, I don't know. I was so hopeful. I think that's what it is. I honestly think it's just the like looking at his trajectory throughout the years and like him just getting progressively better and then his having a really off season. I mean, shit's gonna happen. It's not like it's his fault we missed the playoffs or anything. It's really not. But it's disappointing to see.
you just can't. The one and this every there's this is not just a Ken Johnson thing, but there's players that have a one big glaring weakness that it's just too hard to ignore. That a weakness that gets in the way. That if you don't fix that, you will not have a long career. That the teams will figure it out, and then you'll be done. Because and for Ken Johnson, that is he gets pushed off the puck, kind of a string bean. And, Anthony Duck brought up perfectly is that look at some of the small guys that the Blue Jackets have had over the years. A Matt Calvert and Johnny Gaudreau, a Cam Atkinson, and Artemi Panarin. They're smaller guys. So from a height/weight perspective, they're kind of at a disadvantage. If they got pushed off the puck, you would understand why. And yet, you never really saw that from those guys because you find ways around that. You put on some weight and you find ways around that so that you don't get pushed off the puck. You win some of those board battles. You win some of those 50-50 puck battles. It does not make you just a total liability out there because we've seen Ken Johnson do it. He's been an awesome player, and he has so much brilliant hockey talent and hockey IQ off the charts and makes passes to set up goals like, wow, how did he do that? And he's got an underrated shot. He can shoot the puck too, and he does. And it's like, oh, awesome shot. How did he do that? Like we've seen him do it. And last season, he doesn't get pushed off the puck. No turnovers. He doesn't get pushed around. It made him that much better of a player. And then this season, for the most part, we didn't really see that. It's like, what happened to Kent Johnson? Well, he lost weight, and because of that, he gets pushed around. And that affects not only him, but the Blue Jackets. So, like, when you're told to put on weight and you do that, but then you lose weight, it's very detrimental. This stuff happens and that's okay. But like, if this, it's a big glaring issue like this, you can't have that. So that needs to be better. Kent Johnson, you're going to have to spend some of your time this off season and just eat a lot of food, put on some weight, dude, and get a little stronger. Put on some weight and be 2024, 2025 Kent Johnson, because the Blue Jackets really need that Kent Johnson. They really do. The Blue Jackets are better when Kent Johnson is playing good and is that Kent Johnson. It needs to happen. We've seen him do it. He can be a good player, but he needs to put the weight back on that he lost and just be a good player more consistently.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to get better. And we talked about, like, Elvis Merzlikins a lot after last season, about him having to get better too, and there was some improvement there. So these guys are what I said about Merzlikins, I'll say about Johnson. He's a professional athlete. This is what he has made his life's goal and his basically career choice from the time he was a child. The competitive spirit is there.
Yep.
It's hard to say exactly who Bonus was talking about when he says, like, these guys don't care about losing or whatever. It's hard to say exactly who. I really feel like at the end of the day, everyone on there is competitive. You have to get to the level that they're at. You have to be insanely competitive.
Yeah.
I'm sure many people have heard stories about professional athletes and just like the way they get competitive with even like little things. Like, for instance, Fortnite's one of the things that some of these guys will play and get super, super competitive with everything else, anything they do. So the drive to win's there. So I mean, I think he'll do what he can. I don't think it's just going to sit idly by. Seeing some emotion on these guys was good. After last season, obviously a lot of the emotion that we were going to see was, I think, a little bit more positive at the end of the season.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm not mad about seeing some emotion from them.
Nope.
But a lot of words don't do anyone good. We need to see some action.
Yep. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got. I don't have anything else to talk about where you have to leave and it's just me. Not today, maybe some other time.
Righto.
All right. So, Hefty Duck. Well, actually, let's see. We got some comments to put up on the screen. Hefty Duck and I will say our stuff and then we'll get out of here. So we got G Dog 1959 with the thumbs up emoji. G Dog 1959 with the thumbs up emoji again. And G Dog 1959 says, I like it.
I think we were talking about the tattoos at that time.
Yeah.
Earlier in the episode.
Yeah. But there you go. There's the comments.
That is after we end the episode.
Yeah. Well, we just got so into it that we just kind of forgot about it. But oh well. Just still want to put it up on the screen. So, all right, Kay, Hefty Duck, say some of your stuff and we'll get to me and then we can get out of here.
Hell yeah. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, check me out on Twitter. I'm just at Lance_Schrock, spelled right below you right here. It's SCHROCK. I'm also at Lance Schrock Tattoos on Instagram. Check me out. I'm going to be in Cincinnati here in a few weeks, the May 8th through the 10th, and I'll be tattooing at a
Cincinnati.
convention
Woo!
there. And so I'll be there all weekend. If you want tattooed, it's first come, first serve for me right now. I'll probably have a few appointments scheduled by that time, but yeah, stop on by, say hi. It'll be a fun time. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from YouTube, thank you very much. We appreciate you. You probably found it through our Twitter. If you're watching from Twitter, go check out us. Check out our YouTube. We're just at the Blue Jackets podcast on Twitter. You'll see our logo, the very familiar Kepi with the beer mug logo.
That's right.
And yeah, anything else? I think that's about it for me. Just appreciate y'all for watching. Our audio listeners have been doing great numbers here lately. Y'all keep surprising me. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank y'all.
All right. Okay, as I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. What a guy. Life of the party. The best of the best. Loved seeing you at family parties and get-togethers like birthdays and holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and so much more. Love talking hockey with you. Such a good guy, one of my inspirations. And, wish you're still here so I could talk some hockey with you and I could get your thoughts on how you think the Blackhawks season went, because you're a big Blackhawks guy. And I could share my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets season went. And you're a big Cubs guy. And, of course, baseball season is here. And, kind of wish you're still here so I could kind of get your thoughts on how you think the Cubs are doing so far this season. And I could share my thoughts on how I think the Reds are doing so far this season. So, wish you're still here, but you unfortunately died in September of 2024. So, shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Wish you're still here so I could talk some hockey with you. Shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
And next week's show, I'm going to pull out the calendar on my phone here so we can get that going. Next week's show will be on Monday, April 27th, 2026, 7 o'clock p.m., live on YouTube and Twitter. So again, one more time, next week's show will be Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, where we will be doing a season review show. How did it go? What did we not like about the season? What did we like about the season? Some bad stuff the Blue Jackets did, some good stuff that the Blue Jackets did that we liked. We're going to talk about it all. So we'll see you for our next show, Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. As for me, one last thing. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. We do a lot of fun stuff like marches to cheer on the Blue Jackets. It's been featured on TV, on the scoreboard at Blue Jackets games, and in the Columbus Dispatch, and so much more. So follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. 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 So that's all I have to say for now. So Hefty Duck and I are going to get out of here. So bye now.
See you all next week. Hey, I get to actually hit the button this week. All right, see you guys.